Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about how to find the surface area of cylinders. If we are trying to find the outside area of a cylinder, it's helpful to know the different shapes that make up the outside. Now in the upper left hand corner there's a picture of a cylinder and it says click here. Unfortunately that link does not work because you're watching the video version of this, so instead I'm going to draw you a picture of what it looks like when we unwrap a cylinder. So here we have a picture where the top and bottom of the cylinder are folded upwards, and then we have unraveled the middle. So as you can see, we have two circles and a rectangle in between them. So surface area is really just area. So we want to find the area of the two circles, and then we also have to find the area of the rectangle in the middle, and when we add all of those together, that's going to give us the total surface area. Now we have this handy dandy little formula over here. Surface area is equal to pH plus 2 times big B. So big B we talked about in the last lesson that we did with volume, and big B, if you remember correctly, means area of the base. So by saying that we need 2 times the area of the bases, that would mean we're talking about our two circles that make up the bases of our cylinder. So to find the area of these two circles out here, we have to use pi r squared, because that's how you find the area of a circle. Now we have another part of the formula. We have P times H. Well, hopefully H looks familiar to you because that would be the height of the cylinder. So that's this side over here. This is the height. And then P usually stands for perimeter. In this case, what it stands for is this over here, the width of our rectangle. Now, where does that width come from? If we look over in the picture in the upper right-hand corner, the width actually comes from the top of our circle. It's actually the circumference of our circle. So to find the circumference of a circle, we take pi times the diameter. And so this is our surface area formula that we're going to be using. Do you have to memorize this formula as it looks right here? No, but you should know this formula and then be able to take a picture like we did and then figure out what each letter stands for and fill in what you need to. Let's go ahead and do some practicing using this formula. Alright, so here we go. Here is our first example. Here we have a cylinder, and we're going to go ahead and use our pH plus 2B. So again, let's think about our formula. So over here, 2B, that remember stands for our two bases, the area of our bases. So we have our circles, right, on the top and the bottom. So to find the area of a circle, I use pi r squared. And then we have pH, the height of our cylinder is 3. The perimeter of our cylinder, remember that is the distance around our circle, or the circumference. Okay, make sure that you have that on your paper, and we're going to go ahead and fill in more of these numbers. So the surface area is the circumference. Circumference is pi times the diameter. And then we have times the height of the cylinder. Plus we have our two bases, our 2 pi r squareds. So from here, what I'd like you to do is pause the video and go ahead and fill in what we don't know. So diameter, fill in radius. You also know what pi is equal to, so you can fill those in. And then we're going to solve for the surface area. Ooh, now I see there's a little tricky part right here. I don't know if you noticed this, but the diameter of the circle is 16. They give us the radius of the circle, which is 8. So in order to get the diameter, remember we have to double that. So if you had put in 8 there, go ahead and pause the video and fix that, and then continue solving to find the surface area. Really what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to solve for this section here, and then solve for this section over here, and then add at the end, because we need to use our order of operations for this part. Alright, so here I have my numbers filled in. So it looks like I have 351.68 millimeters, and we're still doing area. Area is always squared. So my final answer, 351.68 millimeters squared. Alright, let's go ahead and try another one. Here is another cylinder. This one's tilted on its side, but we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to use our formula. Surface area is pH plus 2B. First, on your paper, break down the formula into the different parts. P, do you remember what P stands for? It's the perimeter. Perimeter, when we're talking about circles though, is circumference. So the P is really talking about the circumference. The H is the height of the cylinder, or the distance between the two bases. And then we have two big B's, and remember the big B stands for area of a circle. So from here, I'd like you to pause the video, see if you can take this just one more step, and then play the video to check that step, and then we're just going to go one step at a time. So go ahead and pause the video now, see if you can do one more step. Okay, so here is the step. Go ahead and take a look and see if you have that filled in correctly. Now pause the video again, go ahead and fill in your numbers if you haven't done that yet. All right, here it is with your numbers, and now we're going to go ahead and solve and figure out what two numbers we have to add together to get our total surface area. Here we go, and if you notice, I did not do any rounding yet. At the end, we're going to go ahead and round our answer to the nearest hundredths place, but for right now, while you're in the middle of working the problem, don't do any rounding. And here we go. Here is our final answer. Go ahead and see if you got it right. All right, we have two problems left, so at this point I'd like you to go ahead and take our formula and see if you can break it down yourself. Start plugging in your numbers. When you're ready, you can unpause the video, and I'll take you about halfway before I start doing the calculations. So go ahead and pause the video, see if you can get the first couple steps done. Okay, here we go. Here is our formula that we're using with the circumference and area plugged in, and then I've gone ahead and put in our numbers. So go ahead and check and see if you have the same numbers put in, and then pause the video and go ahead and finish solving the problem, and we'll see if you got it. All right, here we go. This is our final answer, 98.91 inches squared. And this is going to be the last problem of the lesson, so go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do the whole thing by yourself. If you need to, you can pause the video and I'll go back to doing this one step by step. Alright, so my first step here when I'm doing surface area is I'm going to go ahead and figure out what parts of this formula I need to break down. So P is perimeter, but the perimeter of the bases are circles on this one. So perimeter is really going to be the distance around the circle, which is circumference. The H stands for the height of the cylinder. And then we have big B, which always stands for area of the base. So area of a circle, which is pi r squared. Okay, so that means we have surface area equals the circumference of a circle, which is pi times the diameter, and then times the height of the cylinder, I apologize for animal noises in the background, but they just can't seem to be quiet while I'm making this video. And then we have 2 times the area of a circle, which is pi r squared. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my numbers here. If you need to, you can go ahead and press pause and continue on your own. If you're ready to keep going, we have surface area is 3.14 times the diameter of the circle. So the diameter in this case is 36. The height of the cylinder is 10. And then I have plus 2 times 3.14 times our radius. So the radius is 18. So 18 to the second power. That's all of my numbers. Now I'm going to go ahead and solve some of this stuff to figure out what this equals. So here we are. We have our our next step here with our 2 numbers that we're going to add together. So this gives us an answer of 3,165.12 millimeters squared. And that's our final answer. Nice job, everybody.